Hello everyone, in this video, we are going to see about the Pulimi Holiday Shopping Challenge. So in this challenge, basically what we are going to do is, uh, we are going to create a Pulimi PS kind of a to-do list application where we will be using React Frontend, Express Backend, and a MongoDB database. And So basically a simple to-do list application, and the front end and back end of the app will be running in Fargate with an ALB in front, and the database will be running in the MongoDB Atlas cluster. And here you can see this is an architecture of the application which we are going to build. And before we start this challenge, we need to have some prerequisite that need to be have. So the first one is the Pulimi account. So I already have the Pulimi account. If you don't have it, you can click on this link and it will be redirecting to you a kind of a login page. Once you're logged in, you will be into this particular kind of a dashboard screen. So you need to have a Pulimi account. And the second thing is the Pulimi CLI. So the Pulimi CLI is needed if you are using your local terminal to deploy the resources. You can use that. But what I'm doing is like I have launched an instance in AWS, and from that instance, I am going to deploy all the required resources. And we need a Python 3.9 on higher version that needs to run, that needs to be installed in the local terminal or in the instances. And also you need to install Docker. And the next thing is we need to have an AWS account. And the next one is an AWS CLI that needs to be installed. And after that, you need to have a MongoDB cloud account. I have already logged into that MongoDB cloud account. So this is how the MongoDB cloud page will be seeing. And the next one is the GitHub account. So once if you are having all the prerequisites completed, you can start the steps which are mentioned in here. So let me log in into the putty and to take my instance. So I already have deployed our instance in AWS, and I'm just going to launch it. I'm just going to access it via putty. So I have just logged into the putty and I am in my EC2 instance. So from here, I'm going to do all the deployments that needs to be created for a to-do list application. So as I said, once the prerequisites are completed, we can initialize the project via Git. So before that, you need to have a Git. The package need to be installed. So I have already installed the package. So if you are not installed, you can. I'm using a Linux machine, so I can give yum install Git. So the package will get installed. Here you can see I have already have my Git package installed. So it says like you already have been installed and you are running with the latest version. So that is good. And also, as the one more thing is like we need to have an AWS account, right? And also we need to have an AWS CLI that needs to be installed. So we can install the AWS CLI. Once if you are install the AWS CLI, you can check whether it is being successfully installed or not by running AWS space hyphen version. So here you can see AWS CLI has also been installed successfully, and we need to see the Docker that service need to be running status. Once installed, make sure you are starting the Docker service. So here you can see it is actually I have installed it, but I haven't started the Docker service. So I'm just going to start the Docker service. Why? Because I haven't updated in the a boot file where automatically the Docker service need to be started. I can use this command to start the Docker service. So it is started. I can click on this command to see whether the Docker service is started or not. So it says it is in active and running state. This is also good. And also to deploy resources, right? We need to configure and command kind of called AWS configure, so that you can give your access key, secret key, and which region, and also the JSON format. So I have already done it. So let me give using AWS configure. You can pass your access ID and secret key, so that you can deploy resources within your account. So make sure you are having the necessary privileges. And here you can see access key and the region I'm using as US issue 1. So it depends on like which region you want, you can use it. And the output format I've given as JSON. And once this is also done, and also you need to install the Pulumi CLI. Why? Because we are going to run the Pulumi command to create the resources. So I have already installed the Pulumi CLI. So to check whether it is been installed or not, I can give command Pulumi space version. Here you can see it's been installed with the version called version 3.4 P8.0. So we have installed all the required prerequisite for this challenge. And also one more thing is, uh, as I shown you a Plimi account, right? Once I logged in, so you need to create an access token so that you can deploy the resources. And once the stack is getting deployed, right? So those stack will be getting deployed in your account. So to access your account, you need an access token, right? So make sure you are creating that part as well. Let me show that. So once you're logged into the Pulumi account, the dashboard will be like this. And as I said, you need an access token, right? So to how to get that, you can come here and you can click on access token and you can create an access token. So you can see that there are a lot of tokens. I have created it. So you can create an access token and you can give a description, and you need to copy that access token and just save it in some other place where why? Because at the start of the giving Pulumi app command, it will ask for the authorization. So there you need to give the access token. Let me go to my Putty console. So I'm now into my Pulumi console. So as we have completed all the prerequisites, I'm just going to initialize the project so that the base application, right? So that I can build through the Pulumi program. So I'm just going to clone the GitHub repository, which has been given in that web page. So git clone -b challenge. This is the GitHub repository. So I'm just cloning it. So as I already have this Atlas Fargate folder, so I'm just going to create a new folder, and inside that I'm going to do all these kind of deployments. So I'm just creating a folder, and now I'm just going to clone it. So here you can see our file has been, the repository has been cloned, and here let us give ls, and here you can see Atlas Fargate. Now we can change the directory as Atlas Fargate. So now we are into the Atlas Fargate folder, and if you give ls, Here you can see all the required files to deploy the application. So now we are going to initialize the stack. So this is the command to initialize the stack. Give me stack init dev. So when I click on enter, here you can see create a stack, but if it is going to be a first time, it will ask for the access token. So all right. So if you have the access token, just you can paste it and then it will create a stack called dev. Let me go to the Polymik console. So I can go to the dashboard or the stack, which I given the dev, right? So here you can see our stack has been deployed in Pulumi. So if I click on dev, here you can see all the required parameters and which repository has been taken, all the things you can see in here. All the things we can see it from here itself. So I'm just referring this specific documentation. So as you can see, we have completed the cloning and also we have initialized the stack. Now we need to export our AWS and the MongoDB credentials. So as you said, access key and the secret access key, you can get it from AWS. But for the MongoDB, right, for to access our MongoDB credentials, you need to go to the Organization Access Manager panel and the API access keys. And from that, you can get the public key and the private key. So here you can see it, the MongoDB, right? So here in your profile, you can click on organizations. So I already have created an organization called test. Here you can see it, right? The test organization. And once you are into the organization, you can click on access manager. And here you can go for API keys. And you can click on create API key. And you can give some description. And here you can you need to give organization project creator. Like here you can see it, right? This specific role or the permission you need to give. So make sure you are selecting this organization project creator when you are creating your API key for the MongoDB Atlas. So I have already created the API key. So let me run this command. So I have been already run the access key, secret key, public key, and private key. All these four things has been exported. And the next thing is like we need to set our AWS region, right? So which region we need to deploy, you can use for it. So I am using US East 1, but here you can see they are using US West 2. So it all depends which region you want to deploy. So I am just using US East 1. So till now, if you are there, you are good. Like the step 1 has been successfully completed by us. And the next thing is like we need to go to the step 2, that is we need to provision the containers on AWS Fargate. So here you will be publishing your application for the front end and back end as a container images to an ECR repository. So the front end app is kind of a static website which will be served by an Nginx server, and the backend app is an Express server. So that will be retrieving and store the data in MongoDB database. So here they are given the code, right? So these code we need to put it in the main underscore dot py. So let me go to the PuTTY console. So as I said, I need to paste that in underscore main underscore dot py. So I'm just going to edit this file. And you can click on I to insert the files. So I have added this file. I am saving it by giving column WQ exclamation. In the same underscore main dot file, we are going to add further code that is used to create an ALB. So the same manner you can edit the file. So these are all the codes that will be creating an ALB for us. And an Amazon Elastic Container Service cluster in which the container will be running. As you can see, the cluster name we are giving and also an ALB to serve the front-end service to the internet. And post this thing, right? Like post the AWS Fargate service will be running in the containers. There we need some configuration values for the Fargate service so that it can use the Pulumi configuration. So here we are just using the default values, and this particular code will create a Fargate service, and with it, which will be having a task with two containers. That is, the two containers, one will be front and one is a back. And the front container will be using the front end image, which we have created in the step one, right? And it will be wired to receive traffic from ALB, and the back container will be used to get the backend image, and that will be listening on the port 8000. So I'm further adding in here. So once you have added these things, now I'm just saving it. So once all these changes has been done, we can run pulumi up command, so which will perform the update, and it will be outputting the application URL. So if we click on that URL, it will be showing a Pulumpia's grocery list web application. We can add the items, but nothing will be happening. Why? Because we haven't given the MongoDB database, right? We haven't created it. So that is in the step 3. So we will run Pulumi up. Before we running the Pulumi up, we need to have the dependencies that needs to be installed in place. So for that, we need to activate the virtual environment, and inside that we can do those uh, deployment. So the command source virtual environment bin activate. Okay, before that, let me run the Pulumi app. Most probably it will throw an error for us. Let's see. Here you can see once I run the Pulumi app, you can see the progress of this via this application URL. Why now none of the error is not throwing up? Why? Because I've already run the thing. But if you are facing an issue, just make sure you are installing the dependencies by going into the source and give pip install -r requirement.txt, so that here you can see that requirement, right? So if you are not installing those dependencies, that will also getting failed. So the make sure once you are into this, and then you can run pip install -r requirement.txt, so that it will install all the dependencies that needs to have this deployment running without any issue. So now here you can see it is installing all the collected packages, and once that is done, it will ask like what are all the changes that is going to happen. It will be listing down here, so it will take almost like 5 to 10 minutes to create all the deployment in place. Even we can go to the Pulumi console, and this is our stack, right? If I click on activity, here you can see that activity is running. So you can click on details. and you can monitor here as well. Instead of monitoring in the SSH window, you can monitor here as well what all the things are happening and what all the configuration we have given, right? We have given the region as US East 1. So that will also be showing in here. So currently here you can see it is installing the collecting the packages, like these are the packages that needs to be there to deploy the application. Let's wait for some more time. So as we have run the Pulumi app command, so here in the AWS console, here you can see the Amazon ECS cluster will be getting deployed. As it is in running, it will take almost like more than 10 minutes. A cluster will be getting deployed and task definition will be getting deployed in here. So we can easily see here. So in the next video, we are going to do step 3 and step 4. And finally, we can see how we can add the grocery list to the Olympias application. Stay tuned for the next video.